Welcome to the stream, everybody. Hi, everyone. I will dive into what happened, the whole shebang, as much as I can share. And the reason why I want to share with you about the whole thing is because at the end of the day, chat, I am just a normal human being that was given this once in a lifetime invaluable opportunity, and I was not prepared for whatever was gonna happen. Those of you who have seen me from the very start of my streaming journey would have known that I'm not media trained. Neither did I expect the reception of everything that happened. I just didn't expect the chaos that was gonna ensue from that one video. And before we start, I'm just gonna get it out of the way. No, I didn't ask him to listen to anything that I've sang. That would be embarrassing. 2, no, I wasn't gonna ask him for like an autograph. I mean, I would have loved to, but I kind of didn't because I kind of forgot. I don't know where he is at any given point of time. Yesterday at his second concert, a dude came up to me. He was like, "Hey, you're Super Cat." I was like, "Yeah, hi." And he was like, "So where's Ed?" And I was like, "Huh?" What do you mean? Just because I did a video with the guy doesn't mean I know where he is all the time. You mean you don't already have him on speed dial? Actually, I have him right here. Also, a bunch of you also asked me questions on Instagram, so I will try to answer them. One question asked me, what did Ed Sheeran smell like? And we shall begin, chat. Cheers, we need this. Okay, it all started with a message saying, "Are you free on the 16th of February?" And I was like, I think so. Why? Oh, because Ed's coming to Singapore and he wants to try some things in Singapore. So I'm like, oh, okay. And that's how the journey begins. So as the days go by, I felt really ill. Went to the hospital. When I was in the hospital, all I could think about was, thank the Lord that it's not so severe to the point where I don't know when I'm going to recover by. And I'm just so thankful that I fell sick a solid 5-6 days for the 16th. And as it approached Thursday, I was like, okay, I'm feeling a bit better. Like now I'm gonna really start preparing my mind and soul for Friday. So in terms of activities, chat, I can't share too much about how we came to the conclusion of these activities, but Ed did say that he wanted to try and experience some local things in Singapore. And before all of you come and attack me and say that your food in Malaysia is better, or that you can experience this in Indonesia. Guys, Singapore is a melting pot. Of course you can experience all the different things in other countries, but you could also do them here. And that's just how Singapore is. So whatever, I'm gonna put that aside. We addressed. Move on. But I was thinking of what I could give him as a present because his birthday was on the 17th of February. So everyone knows that Ed loves Lego, but I was told that he was given too many Lego things. Before Singapore, every other country that he went to had already given him Lego. So they were like, yeah, maybe don't give him Lego. I'm like, okay, fair. So let's give something else. So I decided to go for a slightly different approach. And I was like, you know what? As someone who's had the very lovely privilege to receive gifts from her community, which is you guys, one of the best things I love to receive from the community is handwritten cards. With that train of thought, I was like, okay, let's make him a card. And also because I would be able to write so many more things that I would not remember to say in person. So I got ahead to make a card, but I did not manage my time. I had a lot of work that I needed to do. So I had to enlist the help of the community. And by the community, I mean Hi Party. So the first thing I do, I give a reference as to what I want my card to look like. So I say, I know exactly what I want this card to look like. So this is the example that I give. I said easy, right? You know, it's me and Ed smiling together and a bunch of cats. I think this is the perfect reference. And then I really wanted to incorporate the cat claw into the card. So the cat actually represents you guys, chat. So yes, by extension, all of you have met Ed Sheeran. Exactly. You're very welcome. So here comes iteration 1. Pretty good, right? It is exactly what I drew. Just a bit more refined, just a bit more detailed. But it's exactly what I drew. You know what I'm saying? Girl, this is really good. We're off to a great start. But I have some thoughts. What if I pasted my face on this card? And so that's what we went with. And for the third iteration, chat, we have iteration 3. The card. Bam shabam, as you could tell. So Ed, arms wide open, so much happier to be here. He's like, I'm in Singapore. But as you can see, this was a real process, and I want you to know that the last 3 designs that you saw happened in 2 hours, chat. That's how fast Hi Party is. This whole discussion and iteration and process was 2 hours. So after a few more changes, we ended up with our almost final result, which says, "Happy birthday, Ed." We included a sign that says, "We love you," because I didn't want the card to just represent me, but also Singapore, and that Singapore loves Ed Sheeran. And then of course, we added some Lego to the words and stuff like that. This is almost the final result. If you've seen it on my Instagram, you would have seen the full final result, but I wanted to show you in the flesh. Presenting to you the final birthday card. Honestly, I should have just gave it like this because we had to print out the faces separately. This is how the final card looks like, chat. And of course, shout out to Hi Party. Once again, can we give lots of people claps to Hi Party, please? She did that. So up till this point, chat, all I knew was that Ed wants to do a video in Singapore. He wants me to be his tour guide of sorts, or to just be a friend to go through those experiences with him. And that's what the video is going to be about. That's all I knew of what was happening. I had watched the other videos that he had done in other countries, and I was just thinking, like, what is my role? What value am I providing into this video or into this interaction? Because a lot of his previous videos, they're just by himself or with like another really famous person. So I was like, what am I doing? That was the question I kept asking myself all the way till the morning of the Friday. So we start off with the Friday, and this was in the afternoon. I get to Tarik, which is at Arab Street. While we're waiting, I'm just kind of like hanging around and talking to the rest of Ed's team, which is his videographer Liam and his photographer Mark. And we're just chatting, and it was at this moment that I realized how grateful I am that I'm a gamer. Because for one period of time, we were just talking about video games. That was the icebreaker topic, basically. I almost forgot for a split second that I was going to meet Ed in the face. And then they tell me, okay, Ed's coming. He's arriving. And then that's when my heart sank. I was like, oh, damn. Like, I really have to meet the guy. And I really have to figure out how to behave, almost. And chat, this is where I want to share that it's really not as simple as you might think it is. First of all, this is Ed friggin' Sheeran, right? This is like the biggest guy. But at the same time, I really want it to be very professional, but also not like too professional where it's not fun. Because at the end of the day, it's just like a fun little video that we do together. So all of these thoughts were crossing through my mind. And yes, maybe I am an overthinker, but you know what? I think it's okay that I was overthinking it. At least I was careful, I guess. So he walks into the shop, chat, and the first thing he says to me is, "Thank you so much for taking your time to hang out with me today." And I look at him and I'm like, "You're freaking Ed Sheeran, what are you talking about? Who wouldn't want to take time out to hang out with you?" And I just went like, "No, it's okay." And I'm like... And then of course, it's showtime, showbiz, right? I didn't know how much of this video I would be a part of. I really had no idea like if I was gonna be in this video at all. And you might again think, oh, that's silly, Kat. They asked you to be part of it, so obviously they would want you to be in the video. But you never know if maybe when it came to like post-production, they would like edit me out. You know, maybe they just wanted the video to be very focused on Ed, which is 100% understandable because it's Ed's Instagram. So I just had no expectations. I really had no expectations of anything. Ed typically starts his videos, pulls out his phone, and he does that first take where he's like,
right, so I'm here in Singapore with Denise. She's gonna be my tour guide for the day.
And then that's when I knew, damn, this is serious. Like, this is big deal now. Like, I can't run anymore. And he only did one take of that. So that's when I kind of knew that they would probably use that take. So I was like, okay, we're doing it. So we were introduced to the owner of Tarik, which is Ali. And then Ali, you know, showed us the different teas and senses. And he was like, yeah, do you want to try pulling the tea yourself? So Ed does it first. What is not shown is that he first spilled tea on the floor. Everyone only thought that I did, but he did too. Just saying, we're not perfect human beings. And so he pulls the tea and he's done. And I'm like, good job, right? You did a great job. And he's like, you try it. I'm like, I try it? Like, okay. I like fumble as I try to get the tea from him. And then I do it. And then I'm just me, right? I spill the tea and I scream. So I go, And then he tries it again, and then we drink the tea. There wasn't really much that was going on for that one. Also, before all of you start asking me like why didn't I take any videos or why didn't I take any photos, it was because it's quite strict in that sense. We know we need to make sure that whatever I'm posting and whatever is being sent out is approved by Ed's team. So let me show you some of the few pictures that I have. So yes, this is the photo of us, and I will now answer the question that everyone has been asking. How tall is Ed? Ed is pretty tall, I have to say. I'm 174 centimeters, but we're about the same height. He's not as small as people might think he is. After this, we go to our next destination, which is at Lau Pa Sat. It is one of the more iconic hawker centers in Singapore. Now, the question is that people have been asking me, should I have brought him to this particular hawker center or to another one because that other one is better? And my answer is, chat, I don't freaking know. Okay, I would have brought him to like a Michelin star restaurant, or I would have brought him to like my friend's restaurants or something if I could decide that much. But like, there's no way we can bring Ed to like all of the hawker centers in Singapore, so we could only bring him to one. Could you share how the crowd is being managed around you and Ed? Oh, that's a great question. Funny enough, I feel like people kind of knew that this was happening. I don't know how people knew. So when we were leaving Arab Street to go to Lau Pa Sat, there were already a couple of people like waiting outside Arab Street. And the thing was, the car was parked right at the back door of Tarik, so immediately like we got out, we just like went out into the car. I felt the secondhand coolness from that, you know, just like being part of the posse. I get in the car together with Ed, and the first thing that happens when I get onto the car is I hear this song playing, like one of his songs. I can't remember which one it was. And so we sit down, we settle in. There's a moment of like pause between Ed and I, right? And at this point, chat, I'm really just taking cues from Ed in terms of like when to speak, what to say. And then he goes like, do you think we can ask the driver to turn off the music? And then he looks at me and he's like, I'm so sorry, I never listen to my own music. I don't play my own music in cars. This is so awkward. And I'm like, you're okay, you're fine, you know? Like he's just saying sorry or thank you like half the time. I'm like, it's okay. You're okay. So we're in the car, and then, you know, I think that's where we have a lot more conversation. But he was just sharing about how his tour had been, you know, how he was turning 33, and he was really happy that he was going to be able to perform on his birthday, because it's really normal for birthdays to be, you kind of have to figure out what you want to do on your birthdays, and he loves performing. Oh, the funny thing that did happen was because he was talking about, you know, his family briefly, and then he turns to me and he says, do you have any kids? And I'm like, no, I don't have any kids. Married? I'm like, no, not married. And then Liam was like, wait, how old are you? And I was like, oh, I'm 26. And then they were like, oh, like they all just went like, oh. And then he's like, yeah, no, just like, don't rush it. Take your time, travel the world, or like do whatever you want and then have kids. Ed told me that. I'm like, okay, thank you for the marriage and family advice. Very cool. And I was just telling them that, oh, in Singapore, actually, you know, people actually get married at about this age, about 26 or 27. And that's mainly because of BTO. Yeah, I explained the housing system to Ed Sheeran. I don't know if that was the conversation that I wanted to have. Should I have had other conversations? Probably. Is this the one that I chose to have? Yes. I mean, in my defense, he really wanted to know about Singapore, so I feel like I gave him that experience. There was a moment where I got to share with him that I attended his first concert. He was talking about how he was here in 2019 and then 2015. And then I told him like, I was at your 2015 concert. And he's like, really? And I'm like, yeah. And I said like, can I show you some pictures? This is one of the photos that I took back in 2015, as you can see over here, chat. And then this was also me with my hoodie. And because at that point of time, the merchandise was selling out pretty fast. So I was really glad that I got hands on the hoodie. And I had shown him these photos, and he was kind of like, he was like really happy. Like he looked pretty happy. So I showed him the pictures, and then the next thing he says, chat, is, oh, are you going for tonight's show? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going for tonight's show. And then he was explaining about the next day, which was going to be in a much more intimate setting. It was going to be like a much sadder set list of songs. I already kind of knew that it was going to be two different shows, but I wasn't going to say anything. And then he's like, are you going for the second day? Then I said, no, I'm not going because I didn't get tickets. And then he said, oh, do you want to go? I'm like, huh? And he's like, yeah, I have tickets to the show. It's his own show, first of all. I don't even know why he had to say that. He's like, I have tickets to my own show, you know, if you're free and you want to come down and watch. And I look at like the rest of the team who's in the car, and I'm like, I mean, if it's no trouble, because in my mind, internally, I'm like, heck yes, right? But like, I gotta be cool about it and I don't wanna be troublesome. So I'm like, if it's no trouble, 100%, I would love to see your second show. And he's like, yeah, we'll make it happen. And I'm like, Ed Sheeran just invited me to his show. He just personally invited me to his show. Cool. I'm going to 2 shows. And I'm like, okay, wonderful, insane, crazy. He was sharing how, he didn't know if people wanted him to have a show again because he had done twice already, and you can never really expect good reception when it comes to tours. And I really loved it when he said that because he's being you. No, exactly. And that's why I loved it, because I have the exact same mindset as him. Every single time I go live chat, I never know who's going to watch my stream. And I never take it for granted whoever comes up and turns up for stream, because I know that is your time that you choose to spend being here. But for Ed to say something like that was pretty crazy, because this is the guy that has 50 million followers on Instagram. He has like sold out records globally. And he said, I don't know if people want to come back to a show. And I'm like, of course people want to come back to a show. We're so excited to have you. The final cool thing that happened in the car ride was that he was explaining about how he was, tonight's show was going to be like fireworks and all that sort of stuff. And he's also just going to bring out JJ Lin. And I'm like, huh? And he's like, yeah, JJ Lin, you know JJ Lin. I'm like, you're gonna bring JJ Lin out? He's like, yeah. I just asked, who would be cool to collaborate with in Singapore, and people were saying JJ Lin. He told me that, and then I kind of gave the most Singaporean like, huh? Kind of reaction, and they were really happy with that reaction. They were like, yeah, we want everyone to react like that. We want everyone to be like confused but also so excited. We did have brief conversations about what I do, streaming. It wasn't that long of a ride anyway. So we get to Lau Pa Sat, the food is there for us, and we just do what you see in the video pretty much. I'm just guiding him through all of the different foods that we're trying out. And this is again me very much winging it on the spot, because none of it is rehearsed. I don't know when I'm supposed to say what. So I just know that I'm supposed to be a tour guide. We tried out a lot of different food. We tried laksa, we tried satay, kaya toast, kueh pai tea, rojak. Now this is where it gets to the part where all of you have asked, did Kat eat any food on this table? Question mark. Okay, I see a bunch of no's. I see no one who is hopeful of me. Only something she's tried before. Okay. You drank the coconut. So, let me first answer about the coconut. I did not drink the coconut. I have never tried coconut in my life. She had the sugarcane. I did not have the sugarcane. I've never tried sugarcane in my life. My faith was misplaced. The final question, did Kat try anything on the table? The answer is no, because I just recovered. I was still recovering, chat. From Saturday till Thursday morning, I did not eat anything with any sort of taste in it. Before anyone clips me out of context, I was in the hospital, I was sick. I really wanted to eat the satay, I swear. But after this chat, this was where we said goodbye. In the car, I had already told him that I wanted to give him some gifts if it was okay, and he said it was fine. So I passed him some of our Supercat merch. I gave him every single sock that we have. I gave him 5 pairs, even though he only has 2 feet. And he was like, wait, these are yours? I'm like, yeah, these are our socks. And this is my community and my gaming name, supercatkei. I also gave him a t-shirt. I don't know why, okay? Don't ask me why I gave him a t-shirt, but I gave him a t-shirt. I gave him a Supercat shirt, okay? Because why not, right? I mean, if there was one time for me to try something. And then, of course, I also just gave him the tote bag to just put everything in the tote bag. And then, of course, I ended off with giving him the handwritten card. And this is where I think it was a really nice little moment. I gave him the card, and as he takes the card, he reads it on the spot. And he's just like, oh wow, the card. Flips it around. Like, wow, this card's so nice. And I'm standing there like, the cards, the design's really nice, right? So he skims through it. I don't think he really read it in much detail, but he skimmed through it. But based on what I was gathering from his face, he seemed to really like the letter. Did he really like the letter? I don't know. I'm not Ed Sheeran. He gets a lot of gifts. He gets a lot of cards. Like, I never wanted to assume, but he could have really just did like a, oh wow, thank you, But like, he really read it. And he was like, wow, like, thank you for the words. And I just wanted to read to you what was on the card, chat. This is what I wrote. Hello, Ed. It's such an honor watching you pour your own Teh Tarik and eat chicken rice with you today. Smiley face. Your music has shaped my life and taught me how to feel and love deeply. I can't imagine the ups and downs you have gone through to be here. but you are my beacon of hope that you can be kind, true to yourself, and still one hella successful human. I hope you have the best time in Singapore, and thank you again for letting me join you today. I will never forget. As I was thinking about what I wanted to write, I really just wanted to celebrate him as a person, and Ed has been through a lot. For someone who is just genuinely such a nice dude, like he's been through a lot of so much unnecessary like drama and like lawsuits and stuff like that. So I just wanted him to know that he was appreciated for who he is, and he is really as genuine as they say. He was thanking me, he was apologizing for no reason. He made eye contact, which is really important to me. He looked like he was interested in the conversations that we were having. So yeah, it was really nice. And we hugged, and then he had to go off, and then he said, "I'll see you tonight." That was our little interaction together. I will say that after the whole thing, Liam and Mark, who is Ed's team, did say that they could see that Ed genuinely enjoyed himself. I just really hope that I made it a comfortable and happy time for Ed. That's it. That's really all that I hope I could have done for him. So, and yeah, and that was the whole experience chat. But the story doesn't end here, because I want to share with you more about really the full experience being that random girl beside Ed Sheeran. Are you ready? Because this is part 2. After we finish, I go home, blah, blah, blah. And then Tim and I get ready for the concert. We are walking towards our gate. As we're walking, Tim gets a notification. And then so we immediately stop. We stand still. We open up and the video is out. And at this point, chat, my thoughts are, am I in the video? Because again, throughout the entire afternoon, I genuinely thought that I was not going to be prominent in the video at all. Video starts, and it immediately starts with that phone recording of Ed saying like, "Hey, I'm in Singapore with Denise as my tour guide," and like Tim and I just like once the video was done and we had watched it like twice through, Tim and I, we like high five, we were like, we did it, and we're walking and we're just like, like after that, we go into the concert. We have a good time, yippity yappity, enjoying the concert, just doing our own thing. Once we had gone out of the National Stadium after the concert, and I saw all the comments, everyone was so nice. It was just overwhelming positive messages. And I was like, wow, I have never received that much kindness and like support in my life. And then I went to bed because I wasn't feeling well. The next day, I wake up. The mothership posts went up, and this is where it gets spicy and spicy chat. And okay, before any of you tell me, why do you want to give them more limelight? This is exactly what they want, yada, yada, yada. The reason why I want to share this with you is because this is the reality of the internet, and with good things will always come bad things. And I think it's important to just share the reality, and I also really want to share what it feels like to be in my position. Also, I swear if any media publication takes anything that I say in this stream and uses it as like a freaking quote, hold me back. The thing is, chat, what you allow to happen within your communities or within your channels or within your spaces manifest within each other. So when Mothership posted whatever they posted, I kind of knew that was when the hate comments were gonna come in. But they came in so hot, guys. They were like the Teh before it got Tarik. You know what I'm saying? And I want to show you some of the funniest troll comments that we got from this experience, okay? These were some of the comments. Denise probably is one of those ultra rich kids not knowing culture. God damn. Is Denise actually really rich though? Because Denise doesn't know. Rich in love, I am. I am rich in love and rich in optimism. This chick is trying too hard. Edward Cullen. We got friggin' Edward Cullen coming for me, guys. I laughed so hard at this one. Why is supercatkei there? She's mid AF. So why is she famous? So, nobody ever said I was famous, which is pretty interesting. The whole mid thing, I never really understood either. And why am I there? My friend, I also don't know why I was there, to be honest. I really didn't know. A pizza you call mid? Don't go hating. Chat, we're not, chat, I'm gonna nip this in the bud. We're not encouraging hate comments back at them. Why? Doesn't make a difference. Again, I'm just sharing this with you because I thought it was kind of funny, and I just really want to show you the duality of life, which is that people will send nice things and people will send really mean things when they don't even know who you are. That's what it is. Denise hasn't seen culture. And then we've got Dina. Thank you, Dina. Shout out to Dina Nana, who says, a bit confused. Why are people saying that the host does not know culture? Honestly, why? Genuine confusion. I actually really don't know. A lot of people were attacking me. Like, they were like, you have no culture. I think it's because maybe they didn't like the places that we brought them to. I don't get it though. As someone who knows quite a bit about Singapore, I think it was a good showing. Thank you. And I mean, it's okay. I feel like everyone is entitled to an opinion, which is why, again, I'm not like offended by it. I'm just sharing all this with you because when all these comments came in, I wasn't upset about it. I just realized how big of a deal this was to people. Like, I didn't realize that media publications were gonna post about it. I didn't know anyone was gonna really talk about it. I thought it was just gonna be like a you and I chat. Like, we're just gonna like giggle about it. Like, oh my gosh, we got to do this thing with Ed. That was pretty fun. Oh my gosh. And that's it. But it ended up being this kind of like spiral of media publications reaching out and being like, hey, can you give us some comments on your experience and what you thought about it? I think in summary, I am so immensely grateful for the opportunity to be able to do what I did. And there are so many other people that deserve that opportunity, right? But the fact is that it landed at my door, and so I took it and I did the best that I could with it. So yeah, it made a great story. It makes for a great experience. I would not have traded it for anything else. I'm so grateful that I got to spend time with Ed, and it's definitely like a big highlight for me. But also the entire experience after that, it was just so eye-opening to see and to experience. Yeah, I just wanted to share that with all of you. And if you tuned into this stream to deliberately hear about the story time, I just want to say thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed my little story time. And of course, for chat, I just want to give like huge shout out to chat because all of you are always so supportive. I say this all the time, but the only reason why I even had the opportunity in the first place is because of all of you and all of the support that you've shown me. I had no idea that this was gonna happen. I had no idea. I hope I shared the story the best I could as well. All I have to say is that if you're a new friend, if you want more cool story times, if you want to see more cool collaborations with other people from around the world, please support the content. It is because we have this platform and we have these platforms that we get this opportunity. So even just watching the stream, even just being here helps so much. Oh my gosh!